All right, before we get into this, folks, and it's a dandy one, so you'll want to stick around because you won't believe what I found. Let me give a big shout out to Chris Dallas at DualPad and Celebrity Recreations. This guy, Chris, he's the mastermind behind all this. Writes his own scripts, does the research, makes us celebs tell it like it really is. You won't find this kind of stuff anywhere else, folks. So if you're tired of the fluff and the fake news, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Chris has got the truth, and he's serving it up fresh every time. You'll thank me later. And before I continue, there will definitely be some profanity here, so please change the channel if you are offended. Okay, here we go. All right, listen up. I did some digging into Kamala Harris's so-called middle-class roots, and let me tell you, I found a whole lot of bullshit. Middle class, my fucking ass. This lady gets up there talking like she's one of us working hard to get fucking by. Claims her mama raised her in the middle class. Busted her chops to afford a house, right? Yeah, okay. But when you scratch beneath the surface, you find out her family's fucking richer than most people can even dream of. And that ain't all. She's got the nerve to keep dropping these middle-class stories like she's some average Jane from down the fucking street. Claims her godmother ran a small business as proof. I mean, what the fuck does that prove? What, we're just supposed to take her word for it? No one fact-checks this fucking shit? Meanwhile, I fucking dug through her whole background. And let me tell you, it's not just her middle-class story that's fake. This is a family with power, control, and some dark fucking connections. Real dark. Like Castro-level dark. I'm talking fucking communism, family ties to dictators, and money that runs deeper than the ocean. Her own father wrote about how his family basically forgot where they came from. Memory loss or selective amnesia, call it whatever the fuck you want. But one thing's for damn sure, they want us to forget they're from a long line of people who owned plantations, enslaved people, and made themselves filthy fucking rich. And just when slavery ends, these geniuses switch to plantations and make money off sugar. Nice, right? Gotta keep the cash flowing. Ain't that fucking something? And you know what really pisses me off? This whole charade with communism. Most Americans don't get it yet. You tell them communism, and they shrug it off. But go talk to some Cubans, they know exactly what that fucking life is about. People starving, families torn apart. And Kamala's family? They had their hands in it, up to their fucking elbows. Our ancestors weren't just farmers or businessmen. They were power players in the Caribbean, running sugar plantations and playing the political field. But now we're supposed to think she grew up middle class. Give me a fucking break. Get this, Kamala's family didn't just drop their old habits after slavery ended. They shifted fucking gears. Back then, if you wanted to control people, you owned them. Now you control the government, suckers. You become the master all over again, just wearing a fancy suit. Taxation, regulation, all that shit. It's just a modern form of fucking slavery, if you ask me. These elites take all the fucking money and power, and the rest of us, we're left with scraps. Then I hit some family names like Harris and Brown. You dig a little, and you find these are families who did real well for themselves. If by, well, you mean making a killing off the backs of others. These people ran sugar plantations in Jamaica, made money off everything from slaves to sugar, and then moved into oil when that was the next big cash cow. Ain't that a sweet fucking deal? And then there's her relative, Joseph Alexander Brown. This guy's supposed to be some big shot, and we got pictures of him all suited up looking real respectable. Turns out, he's connected to this family dynasty that morphs and reinvents itself in every generation, wherever the big money is. Like they got some sixth sense for where the cash is fucking hiding. Oh, and here's a kicker. They got ties to Fidel fucking Castro. Yeah, Fidel himself. Vin, one of her relatives, apparently stayed in Cuba while Castro was rising to power. Worked high up in an oil company, right in the middle of Havana. And when Fidel took over, he fucking conveniently made the last flight out of there. Talk about luck, huh? This family seems to have a real knack for escaping right when things go to hell. Then I kept digging, and I found out they had connections in Venezuela. Kamala's ancestors married into families with oil interests down there. Venezuela, another country loaded with oil but completely destroyed by fucking communism. Everywhere her family goes, communism just happens to follow. Ain't that a fucking coinky-dink? Now, I'm saying this plain and fucking simple. Kamala Harris is not from some humble middle-class family. This is a family of wealthy elites. People with connections, influence, and a past that goes way the fuck back. And don't even get me fucking started on this whole she's black nonsense. I'm telling you, I went looking for even one black person in her family tree and I found nothing. Nada. Zip. Zilch. Zippo. Pipsqueak. Diddly squat. Goose egg. You guys get the picture. But hey, she's out there selling this story, acting like she's from the fucking streets. It's the biggest fucking joke I've ever heard, knowing what I know now. Kamala Harris is dangerous, folks. Real dangerous, in my opinion. She's not just some ambitious politician. She comes from a line of people who've controlled governments, made fortunes off oppression, and know exactly how to play the fucking game. This isn't someone with a middle-class background. This is a family of manipulators who've managed to stay in power generation after generation. You want someone like her running this country? Get fucking serious, will ya? If you're voting and don't know this, you're voting fucking blind. We gotta wake everybody the fuck up and make them realize who these people really are. I'm just laying out the facts here. You don't like it? Tough. Or better yet, too fucking bad. But don't say Vinny Gambini didn't warn you. So before you pull that lever, take a good fucking look at who's trying to sell you this middle-class fairy tale. I'm telling you, it's all fucking bullshit. And if you think she's in this for you, you're out of your fucking mind. Think again, and again, until you fucking figure it out, because I just handed it to you on a fucking platter. Middle class, my fucking ass. All right, I'm out of here now. Vinny Gambini signing off, telling it like it is, because somebody's gotta. Oh, I almost forgot. One more thing. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Chris Dallas is the genius behind these stories, folks. The guy writes his own scripts and makes us celebrities tell it like it really is. He's got content that's gonna knock your socks off. Don't believe me? Go watch a few of his videos, then thank me later. So go on, hit that subscribe button, show Chris some love, and stay tuned. Trust me, this channel is putting out the kind of truth you won't get anywhere else. All right, that's it. Vinny Gambini out.